Someone you care about is dying, but they didn't tell you. You'll be shocked by the name. Something enormous is waiting for you, my darling kid, so pay close attention. Something so powerful that you won't be able to take your eyes off it for even a second once you hear it. The universe is making you confront a reality that has been concealed in the shadows and shielded by false smiles and silent sobs. Someone you care about, whose existence has influenced your life in ways you still don't fully comprehend, is engaged in a conflict you weren't meant to witness. They're ill. Piece by piece, their time is passing, and you will be completely shocked by the reason they kept it from you. Because they were afraid of dying, they did not conceal their suffering. They were afraid of breaking you, so they kept it a secret. Indeed, you don't know how much they love them. The person who gives their pain purpose. When fear becomes intolerable, they whisper the name of that person. And as you hear these words, their heart is clinging to your memory as if it were their last hope for survival. Blessing 111, Amen. This kind of weighty reality doesn't just happen. You were drawn to this message for a cosmic reason. There's a reason why this title struck you like lightning. Because right now, the name of the dying person is rising inside of you. The name you have been avoiding thinking about, the name your soul already knows but your mind refuses to accept. Didn't your body suddenly feel heavy? This is not a coincidence, that sinking feeling in your stomach, that whisper in your chest, and that glimpse of a face you love. This person, whose departure would shatter your universe, whose voice still leads you even in quiet, whose smile still shields you even from a distance, is carrying a reality that is so agonizing that they would rather suffer in solitude than watch you cry. And you'll realize why fate led you here today as soon as their name is fully formed in your thoughts. 333 Blessings from Aman. For you now, a fresh wave of truth is emerging. Hear this as if your soul were sitting in front of me, my dear child, because what I'm going to reveal will rock you more deeply than anything you've ever experienced. The individual who is concealing their ailment did not do so at random. For months, if not years, they have been preparing themselves by creating layers of silence around their suffering so you would never realize how vulnerable they had become. They laughed it off every time you saw their voice faltering. They blamed the cold each time their hands trembled. They avoided your gaze every time because they knew they would shatter the instant they laid eyes on you. They were aware that everything would be revealed by a single glance from you. Additionally, they felt that your heart was too pure, too tender, and too loving to bear such a burden, so they didn't want to see pain in your eyes. Thus, they made the decision to suffer in solitude while defending your smile. But silence is the end of destiny. You are no longer able to avoid the truth, which is approaching you like a storm. Blessing 222, Amen. The cosmos will occasionally tap you on the shoulder and demand that you pay attention. And that moment is occurring at this very moment. Recently, you might have experienced unexpected shivers, sporadic nighttime heaviness, or unexplained thoughts of a certain individual. You might have sensed that something wasn't right, felt their presence, or dreamed about them. It wasn't a coincidence. Their energy is screaming out for you, chanting your name in fear and longing, which is how your soul connected to theirs. They wish to inform you. They have attempted. The words have been practiced 1,000 times. However, each time they halt. Because you could not be here tomorrow, how do you tell someone you love more than life itself? How do you bid farewell to the one person whose presence gives you courage? They were unable to. They are unable to. Thus, they conceal themselves. They act fake. They grin. And their secret gets heavier every day. And your name becomes their last prayer each day. Blessing 555, Amen. Listen to this as if it were a revelation meant just for you. Time is of the essence, which is why you came onto this message at this particular moment. Destiny is firmly putting itself in the way of this moment. Beneath their silence, the truth is rising like fire, demanding to be seen. You already sense who it is in your heart. That one individual whose face suddenly flashed through your thoughts, that tightening in your throat, that abrupt anguish in your chest, that is not imagination. That is the name being revealed to you by the universe. Because the dying person, the one who has concealed their illness, is someone whose absence would shatter your world. Someone whose voice has influenced your life from the start. Someone who shaped you with love. Someone whose strength has come from their presence. Someone whose passing would permanently alter you. Additionally, the cosmos is preparing you for an inevitable reality. The name will be revealed soon. It's almost a revelation. Remain still. Hold your breath. Avoid blinking. Let fate have its say. Blessing 777, Amen. You are now witnessing the unveiling of another layer of truth. The universe will not let you stay blind any longer, thus destiny is forcing you into the most profound part of this discovery, my dear child. This person who is concealing their illness has been struggling by themselves in the dark, saying your name into empty rooms, suppressing their tears so no one can hear them, and forcing themselves to be strong since the only thing that gives them peace is your happiness. You might recall times when they avoided meeting you, when their voice broke, when their message abruptly grew shorter, when they were quieter, or when their energy seemed different. These weren't minor adjustments. They were indicators. Signals. Silent pleas for assistance. However, the fear of hurting you kept them from speaking up whenever they wanted to be honest with you. To hide the struggle they were engaged in, they wiped away their tears and forced a smile. The truth can no longer be kept a secret, so the cosmos is now intervening. Blessing 111, Amen. You'll be hit by the next wave of this reality like a long-forgotten memory. Sometimes a name suddenly comes to mind inside of you. There are times when your heart feels heavy for no apparent reason. There are times when a face appears in your head for no apparent reason. Your intuition is attempting to direct you in that way. You are currently being drawn to the individual whose time is quietly running out by the same intuition. Recently, you could have experienced a sudden, inexplicable emotional shift, a tightening in your chest, or unexpected despair. It wasn't a coincidence. Your spirit was sensing theirs. Because you are on this person's mind all the time. When no one else is nearby, they murmur your name. They cherish your memories as much as they cherish the time they have left. They are still hoping to see, hear, and feel your presence just once more while you listen to our message. You have no idea how much they love you. They are more afraid of losing you than they are of getting sick. Blessing 222, Amen. Let fate now lead you to the brink of this epiphany. Your heart is being readied by the universe for the instant you discover the truth. Because the identity of this person, the one who is concealing their illness, is someone whose loss would shatter you in ways you have never known. Someone whose voice has supported you during your most trying times. Someone whose love inspired you to be brave. Someone you thought would always be there, so you never even considered their absence. However, they are now gradually disappearing in the hopes that you won't notice the change, but you already do. That unexpected wait. That sudden panic. That one face that keeps coming back to you. The name is being revealed to you by the universe. Your soul is aware of it already. Additionally, your heart is getting ready for the time when everything changes as the truth approaches. Blessing 333, Amen. Another truth is emerging more profoundly than before, my dear kid. There are times in life when quiet speaks louder than words, and at this moment, that silence is all about you like a shadow that is just waiting to be understood. This person. Yes, the one your heart is constantly thinking about, has been experiencing a silent anguish that they are unable to acknowledge. They spend more time looking at your pictures. They repeatedly read your previous messages. And they pause at your name in the same manner that a person pauses before breathing their last. They continue to act as though everything is normal, that they are fine, and that time is not passing them by. However, everything they conceal is visible to the universe. You can no longer stay in the dark, it decided today. The purpose of this reality is to prepare you, not to harm you. Blessing 555, Amen. Another inexorable tsunami of destiny is headed your way. It's possible that you've recently noticed small changes that initially didn't make sense. They softened their tone. They respond more slowly. They looked a bit more worn out. They were a bit farther away. These didn't just happen. They were frantically attempting to conceal these fissures in their walls from you. They would sometimes open their mouths to tell you everything, but they were unable to speak. Occasionally, their hands would not move when they picked up their phone to message you. They considered calling you at times, but the tears came more quickly than the words. They are more afraid of losing you than of dying themselves. They worry that your smile will disappear once you learn the reality. And that is intolerable to them. Thus, they bear the burden by themselves. Each day. Each night. And destiny is silently watching them fall apart. 111 is blessed by a man. Your chest feels heavier the closer you are to the truth. That isn't creativity. You are experiencing the tremors of their struggle as your soul aligns with theirs. Because they are no longer strong enough to conceal everything. Their vitality is waning. Their illumination is fading. Their hearts are weary. And because the time of revelation is drawing near, the universe is directing you to this message. The person whose disappearance would shatter your life is the name you're trying not to think about, the name that keeps coming to mind. That is the one, indeed. Because destiny won't allow you to continue ignoring the truth, your intuition continues returning to them. Before it's too late, you were supposed to hear this. Before reality sets in, you were supposed to sense the change. Because of the unbreakable bond between your soul and theirs, you were destined to know. 333 is blessed by a man. Destiny is now drawing you in even more, my little kid. As you read this, your heart is beating differently for a reason. A reason your breath slows, your chest feels constricted, and your thoughts are constantly focused on one particular individual. That's your intuition prepping you for a reality that has been stealthily approaching you for months. This person, who is concealing their illness, has been clinging to you as if you were the last ray of hope in their dying world. They keep playing your recollections in their heads like a never-ending film. They look at your pictures for longer than they used to, tracing your face with their eyes as though they were trying to commit every detail to memory. They remember times they spent with you that they never shared with anyone. They whisper your name under their breath as a last wish, a prayer, or a lifeline that pulls them back from the brink when the agony becomes unbearable. Blessing 111, Amen. Another reality is emerging, and it's more profound than anything that came before it. This individual didn't conceal their illness out of pride. They kept it a secret because they didn't want you to experience sadness, fear, or guilt. They are too familiar with you. They are aware that your heart is delicate, sensitive, and sympathetic in ways that the outside world cannot see. They are aware that you would have given up everything to take care of them, even if it meant sacrificing your own aspirations, if you had known sooner. They opted for silence for this reason. However, they are now breaking their silence. They are becoming weaker. Their bodies are worn out. More than ever, their soul is screaming out to you. You might have experienced the unexpected heaviness that appeared while you were doing nothing, the peculiar grief you couldn't quite put your finger on, or the urgent impulse to see how they were doing. Those were cues. Caution. They no longer have the strength to conceal the truth, thus their energy is reaching out to you. Blessing 222, Amen. This is the portion that destiny wants you to listen to with all of your heart. This suffering is not being revealed by the cosmos as a form of punishment. Things is making things clear because the moment to confront reality is drawing near. You've been thinking about the name you fear, the person whose death would ruin a piece of you, for a purpose. The face that briefly appeared in front of your eyes, the intense emotional pain, the urge to keep it from becoming them. Yes, it is precisely the person that destiny is referring to. Their heart is no longer able to conceal what is happening, even though they have been concealing their symptoms, weakness, and fear. Additionally, the universe does not want you to be unprepared. Before the world collapses, you were supposed to know. Before the truth comes to you through another person, you were supposed to experience it. And this message was intended for you to hear so that your soul might prepare for the moment that will alter everything. Blessing 333, Amen. A new chapter has begun, and it is heavier than the last one, my dear kid. There's a big item in store for you in this section, so stop for just a heartbeat before I proceed. The facts that follow are more than merely discoveries. They are earthquakes designed to completely upend your perception of this circumstance. Destiny is drawing you nearer to the reality of the individual who is concealing their illness from you as they approach a breaking point. They don't realize how quickly their situation is getting worse. They have a weaker body. They spend more time at night. Their suffering is more intense. They continue to conceal it, though. They continue to grin at you. They continue to act as though nothing is wrong. Your name is still shielded by them. The universe is now telling you that you have to know. You have to feel. You have to get ready. Since the truth is no longer far away. It is directly in front of you. Blessing 111, Amen. A fresh insight comes as a thunderclap. This person is secretly terrified. Fear of leaving you behind, not of dying. When you find out, they are scared. I'm afraid of the expression in your eyes. I'm afraid of your silence. I'm afraid of your tears. They repeatedly relive that moment in their minds, and each time it shatters something inside of them. They don't want you to be in pain. They do not want you to place the blame on yourself. They don't want you to believe that you let them down. They are suffering in the dark and pretending in the light because they have imprisoned themselves in this silence. However, fate won't allow this to go on. The truth longs to be revealed. Their name is getting closer and closer to the surface. You sense it in your heart, don't you? It is palpable in your chest. Every time you think about them, you can feel the weight on your heart. Blessing 333, Amen. The universe is going to reveal the most important part yet, so pay close attention now. Your soul is drawing you back to this message for a purpose. A reason why you can't stop thinking about that particular somebody. As soon as you began reading, their face appeared in your mind for a reason. It's not a coincidence. It's a connection. Soul bonding. Emotional bonding. Relationship to destiny. Their energy has been silently pleading for you. Every time they tried to tell you everything, their voice broke before the truth could be revealed. The moment of revelation is approaching more quickly than you anticipate, therefore the universe is already getting ready for you. Their name is closer than ever, the name that will transform your life and strike you like a tidal wave. Your heart is already aware of it. It's whispered by your intuition. The anguish of it has already been felt by your spirit. The truth will soon be revealed to you, and you won't have to hide, pretend, or remain silent. Blessing 555, Amen. Destiny is drawing you further into the core of this reality, my little child. It's not a coincidence that you're experiencing the tightness in your chest, the abrupt silence in your head, or the way the name of a particular person keeps coming up despite your best efforts to ignore it. The truth is acknowledged by your soul before it is accepted by your mind. This individual has been disintegrating piece by piece, concealing their suffering behind forced giggles and brief exchanges, and feigning busyness while, in reality, they are worn out from a war that has entirely depleted them. They grin when they read your messages, but it's not because they're doing well, rather, it's because you are the one thing that gives them hope. They conceal their illness in order to maintain your perception of them as the resilient, robust person who once kept things together. In actuality, though, they are disappearing more quickly than anticipated. Their body is becoming weaker. They are terrified every night. However, their greatest fear remains the same, hurting you. Blessing 222, Amen.